time since done one of these awesome vlogs, and I have to genuinely say that I have missed doing them very much. There has been a lot of changes that happened in my life, and part of these changes I was advised and guided to take some time for myself, just to center, get grounded, kind of discover where I was feeling, what I was feeling, and where I was with all these changes. So from the last time I did one of these, which I believe I did on Tiny Devotions on my Malabis that I'm still wearing today, I had a lot of changes come into my life in the form of me being guided to resign my job. So I had just currently started a new job. I think it had been about a month. And I had this strong feeling, this strong energy that came within that I believe was guidance from love, from above, from God, from the universe, that said to me, it's time for you to really step into what you love, what you dream about, what you're passionate about. The job was fabulous and it was awesome. And there was nothing about the job that was wrong. It was what I had manifested and what I had intended to do for the next couple of years or so while I got inner ambience a little bit up and going. But the intuition, the feeling was really strong that it was time to depart and focus on what I love to do in the many forms that it comes in. So in vlogs and writing, in coaching, and being able to travel and see awesome lecturers like Gabrielle Bernstein in Toronto, take time to visit my family. So the guidance was strong. It took me some time to get there. So obviously I had to do a lot of inner work, a lot of praying, a lot of meditation, a lot of calling some of my beautiful spiritual friends and asking them for help, for love, for guidance. So it was a pretty awesome process. And then the next thing that happened kind of at around the same time as this was that I had been working on manifesting a puppy because I had felt very strongly that a puppy, a dog would really teach me personally how to be more patient, how to be more accepting, how to be more understanding of something that I really had no control over. And of course, this is my general energy towards life most of the time, that I'm not in control, but sometimes I forget. And I felt at this point in my life that the dog would have been a nice reminder to show up for someone else, for something else that really and truly is unable to show up for themselves in the daily physical activities that they go through. So like their daily needs, taking the dog to the doctor, taking him out. My poor little guy did not have a good night yesterday because he is not a fan of thunder. So we were up most of the night with him, trying to comfort him and trying to let him know it was okay. And eventually, about 3 o'clock, I think 3:30, where the thunder kind of stopped, and it had been going on for 2 hours, he finally was able to go to sleep. So being really able to be patient and feel myself get impatient in the sense with those kinds of situations. So I really felt there was a lot of growth to be had in having a dog. So obviously that came into my life in the most miraculous way. So I wasn't expecting to not be quote unquote at a job and all of a sudden be home taking care of a puppy and doing everything else I was doing. But that's that was one of the beautiful things that I manifested into my life. So I have accepted it and I'm working with that as well. And then another thing that happened was that I became very aware. I had a big time aha moment. I became very aware that I had been holding on to a very dysfunctional relationship with money for a very long time. And I was told that this area of my life really needed to be healed. This area of my life really needed new perceptions to come in. It really needed to be transformed. That there was so much abundance for me to have that was already inside of me, but I had been blocking as much of abundance as I could potentially have because I had this fear and these misperceptions around money. So with that, with resigning the job, with the puppy came a new assignment, which was to heal my relationship with money, to recover from my addictions of money. And for me, what it is this really, I get really compulsive thoughts of purchasing something is going to make me feel better. And I haven't really outed myself fully in this area, but that's really what I end up feeling, that buying something or the lack of buying something makes me feel less of a person. So I would kind of be what you call a quote unquote shopaholic. That's kind of what you would call it. And over the years, I have healed it to a certain extent. And what I was told was that I had been changing quote unquote my behavior. And I think this is something that a lot of people do. They attempt to change their behavior. So you attempt to do things like budgeting or other tools that people can use on an outside level. And that had worked to a certain extent, but the energy of it still, me needing it was still there. And that's when I was told, you got to do it from the inside out. You got to work on the inside. So I really began to hardcore take seriously my recovery steps by using different tools that I was guided to use. And every week I would focus on one part of the healing process. I'm glad to say that I feel like I'm kind of halfway through completing the process that I was guided to complete, to go through. And it's been interesting. I don't feel okay all the time. The first week was very uncomfortable. The first week of this process of just acknowledging this was, at first I had just received the aha moment. I didn't get the guidance. So at first with the aha moment, I just didn't know what to do with it. So it was beautiful, it was cleansing. But then the next day I was just terrified of buying anything, because I felt like anything I was buying was contributing to this addiction. So then it was finding the balance between, being able to live a life, because you have to buy things like food and gas and whatever you have to do to live your normal everyday life, but not go into compulsive, obsessive thoughts about the things that you're buying. So then became the process of having to balance out and really heal that inside, so I wouldn't feel the obsession come up. So that was really uncomfortable. I pretty much was crawling out of my skin for a week or 2 weeks, and sometimes it still happens. Obviously, it doesn't completely go away, but yeah, it was just very uncomfortable. I was still working, so whenever money came in, I had just this feeling of like, how can I not go and buy something with my paycheck? So I really became aware of how I had been having this relationship with money for so many years in a very dysfunctional way. There was a part of me that was scared of having it, but it's almost like I felt like I needed to have it so I could purchase things, because purchasing things would make me feel better. And whenever I was uncomfortable or sad, that's kind of what I would go to appease whatever it is that was going on with me, instead of kind of just sitting with it and making it feel, and just feeling whatever it was that was coming up for me. So for all of us, addictive thoughts, addictive patterns come up very differently. For me, my ego had fed it to me in many different ways over the course of, I would say, the last 10 years or so, where, I had picked up smoking, I had picked up some relationship issues, I had picked up some unhealthy habits with food, where like I would engorge myself, or then later I would just not want to eat anything. So it's been a process, and some things have been easier to heal. Surprisingly, smoking, that for most people is very addictive, was one of the easiest things for me to heal. I was actually very easily able to stop smoking. Other things like alcohol, I was very easily able to stop drinking alcohol. Relationships was one of the other ones that I don't want to say it was easy. It took a little bit more than smoking and drinking, but again, it got to a point in my life where I had healed enough that I was able to have a happy relationship with my husband and and my parents and other people in my life. My relationships overall became very functional, very healthy. There was no more block there. But apparently, when it came to money, it's probably my greatest teacher, that I have been pushing it away for a really long time. I haven't wanted to look at it, and it's obviously teaching me a lot of things that I need to learn. So that's really what this blog is about, is being able to accept all of these things as part of your journey. So many times, I know for me, I felt this, that I just want to be there already. I wish I was just over my money thing. I wish I could just go to the store and maybe not have to pray and meditate at that moment, because I feel like I want to buy everything in the store. Or, maybe not feeling fearful if I feel like money's coming my way, or whatever it is that I'm feeling at the moment around the situation, around the addiction. But that's not the way it works. I obviously have to just take it one day at a time, one moment at a time. So like today I was kind of feeling not the greatest. A couple of hours ago, I did go to the store, and I felt it didn't manifest full blown in me picking up everything and wanting to buy anything, but I did feel the energy of wanting to, excuse me, wanting to buy to feel better. So I don't know if I was already not feeling so good today, and since I was around in a store, I was going to try to numb out whatever uncomfortability I was feeling. But I obviously became very aware of it, and by the time I got home, I kind of had a little chat with my husband where I just said, okay, I kind of think I'm a little bit funky today. And then I stepped into giving myself a lot of love. I even put my green Ari Love Yoga Unconditional Love shirt, and I'm about to take my little dog for a walk, so I can enjoy the fall, I can enjoy a sunny day, and just spend some good quality time with myself. Probably have a little meditation afterward. And I was also guided to do a vlog. It said, go ahead and serve. Go ahead and share what you have to say with other people, because there could be so many people out there that need to hear this. You could be dealing with a many number of different addictions or just many number of different problems that you have. And if you are doing the inner work, if you are doing the praying, the meditation, using the tools, really learning how to invite divine guidance, love, the universe, God into your life so that you could take it one step at a time, you have to know that you're doing the best that you can. And you're not going to just wake up and it's all going to be done and over with. You know, it's going to be a process. And it's really about the process. It's really enjoying the process, doing the practices because of the process and not because of the results. So not looking to get there already, but just seeing the wonderfulness and the miracles that you can experience every moment that you choose the love over the fear. So already today, of course, I had many miraculous moments at the store where I walked away from something, or where I prayed and I was able to feel a little bit better, or where I was guided to say, put on a green shirt and remind yourself that there is unconditional love waiting for you, embracing you. You're not alone in this process. You don't have to do it alone. You are definitely not healing yourself. There's something else that's helping you heal, and really inviting that into our lives and accepting the good, the bad, and the ugly. So not wanting it all to be what I call cheerleader happy. I always call it. I don't know why I call it that, but that's what I call it. So it's not gonna all be rainbows and stars and hearts. And yes, that's all lovely. And I love rainbows and stars and hearts. But sometimes you do have to get in there and get a little dirty, and you do have to accept that some days you don't feel so hot and you feel a little funky, and not push that away. But instead, those are the moments where I've learned through this process of healing. And I don't think that I didn't know it before, but it's definitely surrendered me even more. So if I was already down on my knees are getting, pretty numb, which in a good way, from being down there, just humbling myself and really inviting divine guidance to come in and accepting this relationship I have with it, accepting that this is part of my growth, that this is part of getting me to my truest version of myself, my spiritual self. How can I get there in that relationship with God? This is all a part of it for me. So accept whatever it is that's getting there for you. Accept your teachers, whatever that may be for you. Accept them as your greatest teachers are going to really get you down on your knees. I love this quote, and this is the last thing I'll say, by Iyanla Vanzant. She said, the greatest students get the hardest lessons. I believe that's how she said, or the best students get the hardest lessons. So if you feel like you're getting a really hard lesson, just embrace that you're probably a really, really good student and you're really working it, and something's coming in to challenge you to reach the next level of your potential. So accept your journey, give yourself a lot of love along the way, pray, meditate, use the tools, and remember, you can have a miracle whenever you want. It's just about you being open to them and willing to invite them in. Have a great week. Bye.